Gonna clap again?
I'm clapping.
Well,
so
I can
much.
sing to that if you want. That'll be great. What are we talking about today?
We're talking about what used to be, or during the process of filming, it was an indie film that later became a film that was given money.
To
It was
To
distributed.
distributed.
It's called Wish I Was Here, and is actually directed by the main actor Zach Braff, who's mostly known for Scrubs. And yeah, it's basically a comedy drama movie. Would you call it that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would call it. Well, it uses a lot of comedy.
Yeah, it
sure.
has a lot of comedy,
sure.
but it's mostly a drama film about being a person struggling to follow your dreams.
Ooh, yeah.
Basically, yeah. And I think that's why I love it.
About a lot more, but yeah, basically.
And I told you right before we started recording, I told you that when I showed Jonas this the first time, he said, yeah, I know why you like this. And I actually vaguely remember that you said the same thing when I showed you this the first time too.
Probably, because I saw it and I was like, yeah. Well, it was my third time. But you want to tell us a bit about the movie? And
so I'm just cutting you off here.
Oh, I was just gonna say that I have a question for you after.
Oh yeah. Well, the movie is about, I'm forgetting his name. Shit.
Zach?
Yeah, but I'm forgetting the character's name
I
now
have
for
no
2
idea.
seconds. Oh shit.
It's okay to not remember.
Okay, so Zach's character is actually playing an actor who is dreaming of becoming a bigger actor, basically, and is struggling to make this work with his family life. He got 2 kids, Tucker and Grace, and he got his hardworking wife, Sarah, and he's got a sick father and an absent brother, and it's all a lot of drama. Like, a lot of people are struggling with making amends to their dreams, their real life, their family, and everything that surrounds it. So basically that's it. But there are also a lot of funny side notes to this, like the fact that his sick father has been the one paying for his kids to go to Jewish school, which he doesn't care about a lot, but his kids are super Jewish, while neither
one
he
of
or
them.
his, yeah,
one of them are.
Basically both of them in some sort of way.
And Tucker's like, why are we learning this?
Tucker's like, why though? But his daughter Grace is super Jewish, and this is all because the grandfather wanted them to go to Jewish school, but he's not that Jewish either. So it's all,
yeah, maybe not.
it's all kind of
we
funny.
We didn't get to know really how Jewish he is. He just is
true.
really stubborn.
I thought you were going to say he just dies.
he just dies.
He just dies, so we don't know.
Plot twist, or yeah. Well,
Yeah.
everybody, yeah. So my question for you was actually that we have already said this, like this movie is like really clearly like a movie you would like.
Yeah.
And I just wanted
I chose this, by the way.
Yeah, you chose this movie. I just wanted to just try and hear your like understanding of why you like this movie. I understand that this might be like really hard to answer.
Yeah.
But why do you think this movie is like clearly something you like?
To answer it short, because I could go on for hours about this.
Yeah, I understand.
But it's a lot about the whole movie being very colorful. It's about struggling in a beautiful way. Like, you're struggling with things, but you don't give up. And also there's a lot of philosophical like touches to this. Like, one of my favorite things in this entire movie is that the grandfather, who's very sick, he dies. And when
he dies.
Yeah, he dies.
He does.
He does.
He dies.
And Zach's character shit, we gotta look this up. He's taking his kids to the grandfather's house to like find something, whatever. And so Grace finds this huge jar full of contact lenses in water, and she goes like, what is this? And Tucker goes for he's like, why is grandpa having a lot of jellyfish or whatever? It looks really funny.
Yeah.
And then Zach Braff's character, he goes like, that's all of grandfather's contact lenses, because he said he never wanted to throw away everything he ever saw. And I'm all like,
it hits you hard.
it hits me super hard.
Yeah.
And both that and also like one thing I like in films, and we're going to come back to this a million times, I'm not even kidding.
There's probably a lot of examples of this.
There are a lot of examples,
Yeah.
but in this movie it's also the thing that characters carry around something. They carry around something because it means something, and in this case it's because it's funny, their fucking swear jar.
Yeah, well, I didn't really was able to put a finger on what the swear jars represent.
So, as I figure it, in a lot of ways, they so they have a swear jar in their house, like many people had, especially in 19s, early 20s, 20s, yeah.
We'll let it be that.
That's now though. Well, shit.
It's 20s.
It's
the roaring 20s. Everything after 99, basically.
Yeah. Well, so they have this swear jar in their house, and which is basically just to keep their son, because their daughter would never even think of swearing because she's so religious and so bound to God and everything. But they're keeping him from swearing. And then they try to go all around the words and everything. But basically, since they are a hardworking family, but their father, he's not employed. He doesn't have any money. So it's the mother who fought to put food on the table and everything. And he even says to the kids, like, because he swears. And the kids go, "Oh, swear jar." And he goes like,
he swears,
"You should be happy, I swear. Because this is all the money I have to send you to college."
And then he goes on and spends it.
Yeah. But basically, I think it's a sort of a metaphor about both the whole thing of saving up in your life, but also living now. So it's like when they decide to start doing something with the money that they have, they actually live a lot more happy and a lot more free than they did before. So like, I love this thing where this becomes the surrounding. Like, it's not a thing, but it's a metaphor that they walk around with. And also, like, one of my favorite shots in the entire movie because of this is when it breaks. Yeah, okay. Because it's a slow motion. It's a really cool slow motion shot of this entire, like, this huge glass jar full of money going into the floor because of a fight, and the money's everywhere and there's glass everywhere.
A very short fight.
What? A very short...
A very short fight.
Yeah.
Okay, so, yeah, this is true. Like, the movie has a lot of metaphors.
Yeah.
And symbolic things to other stuff, and, like, you know, a lot of deep meaning.
Yeah.
And before saying this, I need to know... I just need to say that I like this movie. Like, I found it entertaining watching it the third time.
Yeah.
And that's important, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like... Because this movie really talks about that life isn't just the dream that you imagine it to be.
No.
You can't become the heroes that you fantasize to be, right?
I think it's the other way around, because he says in the movie that, like, my brother and I used to think we used to think that we were heroes, the ones to save the day. But basically, you have to save yourself before you can save anyone else. Like, I think that's a huge message. Like,
well, I was getting at something, but I thought that because he said, but sometimes you are the one being saved.
Yeah.
You know,
which is also true.
Which is also because I understood it to be that you shouldn't be putting a lot of expectations on yourself. Not too high of expectations, because that you will never be perfect, you know.
That's right.
And the movie starts with all of these, like, bad stuff happening, right?
Yeah.
He gets bad news after bad news after bad news.
Yeah.
So for me, the movie is like trying to tell me like life isn't fantasy.
Yeah.
This is reality. Like, wake up. You are not the genius, or you are the genius, right? That people expected you to be, but that doesn't mean that you need to like become something big or something like that, right? Your dreams, they don't need to be that high for you to be happy, right?
Yeah.
But the problem that I find is that the movie is done in a way that it's not supporting that message.
No.
You know what I mean?
I think it is because this is an independent movie. It's actually, like I said, Zach Braff both acted, directed, and I think he wrote parts of the manuscript.
He wrote it with his brother.
That's right. And I think, like, first of all, like when you write a movie like this, and you have the like you have a picture of what you are wanting to tell. I think that a big risk is that you tell more than one message. And I think that that's what's happening here.
Yeah,
because
great that you brought it up.
Yeah.
Because, like, basically, it's too... Like, yeah, I understand that this life is not perfect and life is not what they thought it would be,
yeah, because
right?
they're going a lot of different ways here. Because at one part in the movie, they're telling us that it's very, very important to be a hardworking person, like with his wife. And another part of the movie is telling us that it's very, very important to follow your dreams, no matter what anyone tells you. And that's what he's doing. And at the same time, we have people who doesn't dare to follow their dreams, and that's also okay. So, like, I get what you're aiming at.
Because there's too many, you know, real stuff, like too many, like, you know, speeches that are supposed to be like super deep.
Yeah.
Too many. Life isn't like that. People don't say stuff like that. You realize stuff.
I think they do, and I think you're wrong, but I don't think that you can put everything in one movie, because it's if you see it as life and everyday life, that's right. Like, you don't get 7 huge speeches in a week.
No.
But maybe you get 7 huge speeches in a year. Like, it depends on who you are, what people you're surrounded with, what you're doing in your life. Like, as a filmmaker that has been doing amateur films for the past 5 years, I see what they're trying to do. And I could have done this mistake 10 times. Like, I've probably made it a few times already.
It's hard. It's really hard.
But also, at the same time, I can relate a lot to the character. Because I'm also a person who's dragged between being the hardworking person and feeling as if I can't be the hardworking person pursuing my dream right now, and I want to be pursuing my dream, and I want to go towards a future, but I want the future to be like independent. I want it to be responsible, but at the same time I want to be reckless and rebellious, and I want to do weird shit. Like, what I like about the movie is that they are dragging you through a lot of different feelings. And that's what it is to be a human. And especially as I figure to be a parent, where your children have different beliefs, your children have different dreams, and in this case, the children are getting homeschooled after have been in the school system for a long time. That's not easy. So it's also like he's taking so much responsibility that's new to him. And I think the underlying part of this movie feeling a bit messy about the message is that they're trying to get that into the story.
No, like, they are very clear with the message, but they're doing it like they're stuffing it down your throat. Like, I had a really hard time with this scene, because first of all, I thought it was like too, you know, like used or too stereotypical. Like, it just, like, do something more original.
Which one?
His father dying.
Oh, yeah.
You know, people don't die just in front of you. Sometimes. Rarely. Yeah,
rarely.
For sure. Rarely. but this was timed, you
Yeah.
know. People sometimes die alone.
That's right.
People die in their sleep.
Mm-hmm.
People die in their hospital. Like, I just feel like, oh, it was just too perfect. They got their great ending, and his father's last words was so amazing, and you know, you're telling us that life isn't perfect, and then
But you're getting the perfect ending of someone else's life.
yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You
Okay,
know,
I see what you're aiming at.
but still,
Yeah.
I found it like really entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I found it really good. I have watched it 3 times.
Yeah.
I think it's really emotional. You know, I like the stuff with the flashbacks or
Yeah.
like this fantasy world, but I think they're like it just
I think,
ugh.
and this is something that we've discussed so many times off camera, especially since we make movies together as well. And
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we have a film collective. We'll talk
Yeah.
about that later. But basically, we've talked about this many times, and that is having so many cool pictures in your head, having so many visions, and having so many things that you want to tell an audience. And sometimes, like, I've gotten way better at telling things visually. Like, when I wrote my first, like, film scripts back in 2015, I would write everything out. Like, we watched one of my first movies, which is horrible, where like you can find the address to Grandpa's house in the
Over there.
drawer down in the drawer somewhere in the hallway, and he goes like, hey, has that been laying there for 15 years?
Wow,
Yeah, it's Dad's
bro.
house. It's been there for 15 years. It's like, I go, what did I do? Like, because there's so much about telling it visually. And I think here they had so many emotional messages that they wanted to tell the audience, but they couldn't do it visually. And I think that if they had gotten more time or had more money in the beginning of the filmmaking and everything, maybe they would have rewatched or rewritten, or I don't know.
Well, the thing is, like, with these type of movies, like, I just feel too stupid. You know what I mean? Like, I need you to understand that I will get this message by my own.
I don't think you feel stupid. I think you feel as if they think you're stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's basically the same thing. But
Yeah,
you know what I
well,
mean? Like,
yeah.
it makes me feel stupid because, like, here, like, we're gonna stuff it down your throat.
Yeah.
Well, again, it's a good movie. It's not a bad movie.
I think that
like,
one of the reasons
for the budget and stuff like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's okay.
I think because the thing is, I get what you're saying, and I can also relate to what you're talking about. And also I feel as if one of the reasons that I like this is that there's a lot of emotional things, there are a lot of philosophical like messages in the movie, but it's also so easy. Like,
It's a great
they're
indie
giving
movie.
you a bag of what you're expecting. Like, you can watch the trailer and you've seen the movie. That's actually a trailer that
that's
is
bad.
It is a bad trailer
Yeah.
in some sort of way, but when I watched the trailer the first time, I was like, oh my god, this is my kind of movie. And it really
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
And I think I watched this 10 times since I saw it the first time 4 or 5 years ago. So it really is a good movie, but it is a good movie because I get what I expect. I
Yeah.
get what I need. I know exactly when to put this movie on. I know exactly when to, like, if I'm sad and I ask someone to put this movie on, I know how I'm going to feel in the end.
Well, I think a lot like of how you, if you like a movie or not, or
Yeah.
like how close you feel to a movie. It's all about like your experience of life, you know.
Yeah.
Like there is stuff, like, I guess for me, some things feel not right, or like I really like super realistic films.
Yeah.
It's just because that's how raw my life have been, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I was in the shit, and I did, like, it wasn't covered with beautiful ending. 'Cause
I
haven't.
love you saying that, because I can be the totally different way. Like, I had a lot of shit in my life, and I can reflect to that. Like, I can reflect that in things that I do, and I can relate to that in other movies that I see that is about the same type of topics. But also, like, when someone asks me what genre I write, either movies or novels or whatever in, I usually say drama with a touch of dreamy, which is basically this kind of film as well, because they're like, if you look at the technical stuff in this movie, you see that they are very close to the characters. They're very close in the shots. They're very close to their faces, to their emotions.
Oh, I have some to say about the camera work and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, to end it, it's basically like they're very close to them because we feel for them. And this is a movie that is drama, and it is reality with a touch of dreamy, with a touch of a lot dreamy, basically. But at the same time,
I would say it's trying to be realistic.
Yeah.
But then it's like getting off the high horse. But you are really great at using the bad stuff that happened to you.
Yeah.
Right? The shit that you've been going through, and use it as something positive.
Yeah.
I love that about you. Like, that's a really great thing, and I think it really shows in the movies you like.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't need to be real. It can be like a bit better.
Yeah.
You can make it more beautiful.
Yeah.
The shit.
I think I also admire.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I admire other people who does the same thing. I admire other people who sees wrong in the world and who makes right in their art. I admire people who see something dark, or who's only been in the dark and they decide to make something colorful out of it. So I think that's such a big thing at all, and I think that every artist ever is an artist because of pain in some sort of way. We talked a lot about this, and we could have an entire discussion about this.
We could easily talk about this.
We could have an episode about this.
Yeah, and I would really like to have such an episode, where we just...
We can start doing talks about different areas of filmmaking that's not films.
And life. Just
and
life. But like how... Oh, that would be like a great thing if we made how like have movies reflect life.
Yeah. That would just be a 3-hour episode.
At least we'll do like Once Upon a Time in America. We'll do like 4.5 hours or something.
Yeah.
That would be. I would love it. Like that would be so chill. Like
we're getting there. We're getting there.
Just taking a break and coming back and continue talking.
Yeah.
Because we do have these conversations, and the more we reflect about movies like this.
Yeah.
Where it's so, It's talking about life.
This is why we want to make movies.
Yeah, in a way.
That's why we want to work with what we're aiming for. Because that's my full-on feeling about this. Like, whenever I meet other film students as well, like, or people who's making short films on the side of their other studies, or kids who even film things, like, we film things. Or we make art. Doesn't even have to be filmmaking. It could be theater. It could be painting or whatever. Like, I think we make art to reflect either our feelings for something or to deflect. So it doesn't matter really why you're doing it, but I think it's because you want another world, or you want to show the world you're living in.
Okay. Yeah, well, that's a great way of...
Now we're going the deep parts where you were afraid we were going.
No, I'm not afraid of going there. I'm just like super happy to even like talk about that.
Yeah.
But before closing off, I would like to talk like purely technical.
Yeah.
Because I have some, but I think it's really like...
This movie isn't about the technical stuff that much, but you had more about the technical stuff than I had.
Yeah, well, it's not like a lot of stuff. Like, for sure, it was like really good done, and I love the grading, and
Yeah.
I love the use of like L cuts and G cuts.
Yeah.
You know, where you start hearing stuff and then you go on to the
Yeah,
next
they're
scene.
really good at that.
And like the use of like voiceover in such a beautiful and like, you know, I'm not gonna say poetic, but you know, in
But a
such
poetic way.
emotional way. It's not a poetic way, absolutely not a poetic way, but in an emotional way. I had a bit of trouble in the cutting.
Yeah.
I thought the cutting sometimes were a bit off,
Yeah.
maybe going too fast, like having too many angles
Yeah.
that don't
That weren't
say-
necessary.
Yeah, weren't necessary at all. But that I think that does have a lot to do with it being an indie film.
Yeah.
You know, and it's I think that's okay. It did achieve what it was trying to achieve.
Yeah.
So it's only like small stuff basically.
Yeah.
And then I had some trouble with like the ending part. Some of the like sequence, you know, of you're seeing like what they're going through or like the life they had after all of this.
Yeah.
That I thought was like there was a couple of shots or scenes because it was in different places
Yeah.
that weren't that important or weren't
Yeah.
saying something more. Because you know
They're pushing too much into this film. in
yeah,
some sort of way.
so classically you want to end the movie as fast as possible after the climax.
Yeah.
And here is a question for you. The last question.
Uh-huh.
You have a couple of minutes to answer this.
Okay.
Where's the climax?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, well, I was actually going to talk about this, but I forgot. You reminded me. This script, if we're talking about it out of that perspective, is not following a classic script kind of format. And yeah, well, I think that actually makes it harder. I think that might actually, or that is the reason to why it's harder to follow, because it doesn't really have a point of no return. It doesn't really have a climax in that sort of way. And it would have been interesting to have a clearer climax. So I'm not even sure. I cannot even answer that question entirely.
No.
But what I want to finish off with, anyway, is that I really, really hope that Zach Braff keeps, like, making movies, like, not only acting in them. Like, I really hope that he will keep directing stuff, that he will keep writing stuff, and get better. Because if this is a start, then I can't even imagine where he's
This
going.
movie is from
2014.
okay.
So
that's
only
a
6
while
years.
back.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a while back.
That's a while back. Have you done anything else since then?
I haven't actually checked out a lot. I think that he has, but I haven't seen a lot. But
we're gonna look at it.
We're gonna
Yeah.
look it up, and also I'm looking forward to see where that is going and how that's evolving.
Yeah, and finishing off, do you wanna tell us which movie we're talking about next week?
I don't know, because that's your choice. I don't remember.
We're talking about You Were Never Really Here.
You were never really here.
Yeah.
Which you came up with because
because,
I said,
yeah.
wish I was here, and you were
that
like,
was
no, I'm
it
thinking
just sounds like that. So
Yeah.
I'm really excited that it's in the leading role we have Joaquin Phoenix, and we have, I don't remember the name of the director, but it's like one of the best female directors I've watched a movie for. So I'm really excited to watch it.
And I actually haven't seen it.
Yeah, so I'm really excited to that.
Yeah.
But thank you for today.
Thank you for today.
It's been wonderful. I want to speak to you more, but we'll talk next week.
We'll talk next week. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.